the people in charge don't want to get fired more so than they're looking to do something great. So they want to kind of, follow a set of rules that somehow like get set in stone that don't really translate. But as long as they follow them, they're not going to lose their job because they can say, well, look, I
crunched the numbers.
Yeah, I made a.
Welcome back to Tracking That, a channel where we try to track what liberals are saying but end up not being able to as usual. And in this video we have Vaughn explaining how woke culture ruined comedies for R-rated films. This comes after Deadpool and Wolverine's success, where the libs were furious that Ryan Reynolds kept making gay jokes, and even more furious when No One Cares and set box office records. As well as Joe Rogan's comedy special 2 days ago where Joe Rogan mocked the trans community or just made jokes. That's the problem with people nowadays. There's certain groups that you can't make jokes about, even though they are the funniest group to joke about. People that get offended by those kind of things aren't people I'd want to hang out with anyways, and they are all Twitter activist rage monsters. But anyways, Vaughn, who was in Wedding Crashers, Dodgeball, and my personal favorite, Hacksaw Ridge, directed by Trump supporter Mel Gibson, speaks on this issue. So let's hear what he has to say.
Well, they just overthink it, and it's crazy. You get these rules. It's like if you did geometry, and you said 87 degrees was a right angle, then all your answers are messed up instead of 90 degrees. So there became some idea or concept, like they would say something like, you have to have an IP.
Right. Yeah, right.
So for some reason, Battleship, which is like a game we used to play like a graph, became a vehicle for storytelling. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Whereas like an IP, like John Hughes from our neck of the woods, right? Mm-hmm. An IP was a girl's turning 16. Like every girl turns 16. Or I'm gonna cut school. Life situations. Or old school. What if I got to go back and, be in a fraternity now at this stage of the game? The people in charge don't want to get fired more so than they're looking to do something great. So they want to kind of, follow a set of rules that somehow like get set in stone that don't really translate. But as long as they follow them, they're not going to lose their job because they can say, well, look, I
crunched the numbers.
Yeah, I made a movie off the board game Payday, so you can't, even though the movie didn't work, you can't let me go, right? So people want to laugh. People want to look at stuff that feels a little bit like it's dangerous or pushing the envelope. And I think you're going to see more of it in the film space. Sooner than later would be my guess.
That's exactly the problem. It comes down to weak people that are only in it for themselves and want to cover their butts so they don't get fired, and profit numbers don't matter to them, even though they matter to the studio, as long as they say they produced a film that didn't offend certain groups. And because a lot of the films take years to film and release, for example, Pixar, I think we're going to see the tide shift on what is released to the general public. More anti-woke films are definitely a big possibility. Deadpool and Wolverine finally reversed Marvel's box office bomb streak. Marvel films were my favorite to see with my friends, but after seeing such woke garbage come from Wakanda Forever, Black Widow, and the Eternals, yeah, I think it's time to shove the woke agenda aside that pleases 10% of the population and irritates 90% of it. They need to focus on more what the fans want. We don't like that crap shoved in our face, and it's sad that we haven't had a good comedy in a while. And it's also important to note that differences between critic reviews or user reviews are astounding, and it's almost as if studios have only cared about critics because they are all woke Democrats. But anyways guys, that's all I have for today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.